The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. I mean, for almost 2 decades, they were it. The perfect blend of Hollywood glamour and, Nashville grit.
Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban.
They hit their 19th anniversary on June 25th, 2025. And then just like that, 3 months later, the whole thing just crumbles.
September 30th, divorce papers filed in Nashville.
The shock was just immediate. The courts get involved, and then that headline just flashes everywhere. Kidman wins primary custody. But there's a twist.
The golden couple, undone. And what's fascinating is that the legal documents, well, they tell a story that's so much more strategic, so much cleaner than the public heartbreak would suggest.
Welcome to our deep dive.
Right.
Our mission today is to go behind all that spectacle. We've got a whole stack of sources, legal filings, anonymous insider reports, public statements, to really understand the end of the Kidman-Urban era.
We're going to analyze the truly bizarre financial twist at the heart of their custody agreement. I mean, this is a move that could redefine high-asset divorce.
And we'll get into the underlying tensions, right, from political divides to career clashes, things that insiders are now saying made this whole split inevitable.
And finally, we'll track how Nicole Kidman just immediately seized control of the narrative. A series of power moves, really, all designed to reshape her image practically overnight.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with that headline, the one that broke hearts and then, frankly, raised a lot of eyebrows in the legal world.
Right. So, September 30th, 2025, Nicole Kidman officially files, citing those famous but, let's be honest, very vague words, irreconcilable differences.
But this wasn't some big sudden fight. The timeline leading up to it seems so managed.
Oh, absolutely. It was carefully managed. Our sources indicate that the filing came after a very distinct physical separation that actually started way back in the summer of 2025.
That's when Keith Urban moved out of their Nashville home.
Exactly. He established his own residence, so this wasn't a snap decision.
And right away, the narrative just fractured. You had some reports saying Urban initiated the final split, but then sources close to Kidman were saying she was, and I'm quoting here, fighting to save the marriage.
And that she was blindsided and betrayed.
Exactly. But whatever the emotion, she moved incredibly fast on the legal front.
And secured that primary custody win. She was named the primary residential parent for their 2 daughters, Sunday Rose, who is 17, and Faith Margaret, who's 14. So, on paper, that's a clean legal victory.
But here is where it gets really interesting. This is the part that I think changes the game for celebrity divorces.
The prepaid twist.
Yes. Our sources confirm that Urban prepaid all of his child support obligations up front.
All of it. The court documents are incredibly explicit. He covered every single potential expense. We're talking nanny and childcare costs.
Private school tuition.
All the way through high school graduation.
And
all anticipated extracurriculars, everything, until each child reaches the age of majority.
And the filing literally says this massive lump sum payment means he has, quote, no further obligation to pay ongoing support.
That is just. It's incredible financial engineering.
It's more than just simplifying payments, right? This is a legal strategy?
Oh, it's a masterclass in high asset legal strategy. By making one huge pre-taxed payment, he removes any future tax liability.
And Kidman can't come back in a few years and challenge the support amounts.
Never. It surgically separates their financial lives forever. The only thing they ever need to talk about again is just the logistics of the kids. It minimizes all future friction.
And speaking of logistics, that custody split, it's not 50-50. It's not even close.
Not at all. It's drastically asymmetrical. Kidman gets 306 days of custody.
And Urban gets just 59.
Right. It works out to roughly an 84% to 16% split.
So what does that tell us?
Well, when you see a split like this, especially with 2 parents who are both, earning well over 6 figures a month, it almost always reflects the reality of a career.
Urban's touring schedule.
His extensive global touring schedule, yeah. It would make consistent joint custody just impossible. So the legal structure is really about prioritizing stability for the girls in Nashville with their mom. It's not a reflection on his fitness as a parent.
And that financial cleanliness went beyond the child support.
Oh, yeah. No alimony for either party. And they had proactively structured their entire real estate portfolio, we're talking multiple multi-million-dollar mansions, through private trusts and holding entities.
Which is such a sophisticated way to handle it.
It is. They didn't treat their homes as joint assets to be sold off. They were already components allocated within separate legal trusts. It ensures a clean, immediate division. No fighting.
A surgical extraction. That's a perfect term for it.
It really is.
They all look so meticulously planned. It suggests the end was negotiated long before we knew anything. But you have to ask, Was the tour schedule the only reason for all this?
Hmm.
Or were there deeper, more uncomfortable truths behind those irreconcilable differences?
Well, the sources definitely suggest the latter.
The big one seems to be this idea that the marriage was undermined by on-screen passion and a pretty serious political clash.
The first major tension point, according to reports, revolved directly around their professional lives. Sources claimed Keith Urban was getting more and more uncomfortable with Nicole Kidman's openness about her career.
Specifically, her intimate roles.
And her public commentary about them. Yes, it wasn't just a general thing. We're talking about specific, candid comments.
Like when she talked about being so turned on during sex scenes for her film Baby Girl.
Exactly. Or her very warm, very public praise for Zac Efron during the press tour for A Family Affair. For Urban, reportedly, it became a strain.
That raises such an interesting question, doesn't it? About where the line is between performance and reality in a marriage like that.
It really does. It seems like Urban struggled less with the roles themselves and more with the public candor around them, which suggests a real strain on their trust.
And then there's the politics, the reported political chasm.
A big one.
We all know Kidman leans heavily progressive, liberal causes. I mean, she's very involved in advocacy.
And that stands in stark contrast to Urban's appearance at a private party at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in November 2025.
Even though it was a paid gig for him, the optics were just enormous.
An insider was quoted saying very clearly that Kidman would never step foot in that place.
And that's not just a difference of opinion. That's
Yeah.
that's a fundamental split in values.
It is. For a couple whose entire brand is unity, that appearance, contrasting so sharply with her known beliefs, sources say privately it became impossible to ignore.
On one side, you have Kidman, the global humanitarian, and on the other, Urban is entertaining a very specific political group. It just signals a complete mismatch.
And all of this tension, of course, it just boiled over into this massive gossip vortex as soon as the split happened.
Kidman reportedly accused Urban of going through a midlife crisis.
And then, you knew it was coming, the rumors started about an alleged romance with his guitarist Maggie Bao.
Which Urban flatly denied. He said something like, "Stop reading crap into it."
He did. And Bao was just focused on her career. But the speculation, well, the damage was done.
And you could see it. I mean, the whole world saw those viral clips in September, weeks before the filing. Urban just looked so uncomfortable in interviews when asked about Kidman.
Oh, that was palpable. Remember when the host brought up their romantic history?
He literally took off his jacket, paused, and just said, "Anyway, moving on." The physical discomfort was undeniable. The relationship was already over.
And we'll talk about the shocking hint he dropped to a fan just before the news broke, but first, let's look at how Kidman used her first few public appearances to completely reset her narrative.
This was her power pivot, trading heartbreak for high fashion and professional ascent.
It was textbook narrative control. Her immediate response was all about resilience and work. She made sure the media heard she was keeping it positive, that she believes everything happens for a reason.
She took the high road.
Completely, establishing herself as the one choosing strength over bitterness.
And she just poured all that energy into her career. I mean, she has 8 upcoming projects.
8, including Big Little Lies Season 3 and the Practical Magic sequel.
That kind of slate just screams financial stability and professional focus. It totally shifts the dialogue from failed marriage to unstoppable force.
And she didn't do it alone. Her support system was critical. Insiders mention her sister Antonia and her longtime friend Russell Crowe.
He was reportedly calling her daily to offer advice.
Leveraging those trusted relationships is just key in a crisis like this.
But the real show was what we can call the glamour offensive. Her immediate public appearances were so strategic.
She went straight to Paris Fashion Week and she brought her daughters Sunday and Faith.
Which immediately framed the narrative around family and looking forward.
And then came the definitive statement. Walking the runway at Vogue World 2025 in LA.
In that custom Chanel gown, inspired by Rita Hayworth.
The choice of Hayworth is no accident. She's an icon of old Hollywood glamour, power, and, well, professional longevity despite a tumultuous personal life. It was a perfectly curated image.
Meanwhile, Urban played the quiet professional. He kept his head down on tour, and his first awards show appearance was at the 2025 CMAs performing an old hit.
Where the Blacktop Ends, a song from 1999.
Even his social media was all business.
Hmm.
First post was just promoting his role in that new Taylor Sheridan show. It's like he was creating this image of stability amid the storm.
Which is so interesting because despite all this clear legal separation, those reconciliation rumors just, they won't die.
Why do you think that is? The media just wants that Hollywood ending.
I think so. It's that hunger for a redemption arc. And there are these little clues that fuel it. Like they both still follow each other on Instagram.
Which is intentional. I mean, they don't follow that many people.
Exactly. Especially Urban. He only follows about 115 accounts. So keeping her on there, it signals a level of public civility.
Plus, you had that one insider claim that Kidman would get back with him in a heartbeat.
Right. And immediately after a CMA performance, all these unverified reports of a reconciliation popped up. It just proves the public wants them to be that golden couple again, no matter the legal reality.
And that brings us back to the legal reality, the framework they put in place.
Which is designed to enforce that civility. You have to remember the court-mandated co-parenting conduct clauses.
They both have to attend a parenting seminar.
And they both legally agreed not to disparage the other in front of the children. That legal framework is there to make sure the no drama narrative continues, regardless of what's happening privately.
Okay, so let's bring it all together. When we look at this whole thing, what's the main takeaway for you?
I think the separation is a masterclass in high-asset celebrity divorce. It's defined first by that incredible financial cleanliness, that prepaid child support.
No future entanglement.
None. Second, by extreme structural demands, that 306 versus 59-day custody split, which is a legal nod to their careers. And finally, it was sealed by that strategic public pivot toward individual power, led by Nicole Kidman.
Which leads to a final thought. Given how fast the finances were settled and how legally structured their co-parenting is, did the lawyers and the managers define the end of this 19-year relationship more than the emotions of the stars themselves?
That is a question worth pondering. The paperwork certainly seems to have outlived the romance.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists and strategic moves, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead that blend law, money, and fame.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.